Want a green one?
It's a special variety of green.
Couldn't believe how cheap pumpkins were this year. They're like $5 for a big one.
On my day. They're all even. This is the thing that turns you
Is
on.
that the guy that came to the house?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Oh boy.
posted and distributed properly on or before 6:30 p.m. on the 22nd? Yes, that is correct. Very well. Citizen comments. Who would like to speak? Talk to the microphone one at a time and give us your name and address and comment.
No?
No?
Done. What?
I'll go. Sandy Hom, West 230 South 3827 Milky Way Road. I just had a couple comments this evening. Let's see here. Looking forward to the sheriff's explanation on the Big Bend Glendale Road thing. In light of my comments at the last meeting where we were talking about revenue and expenses and stuff like that, and perhaps a fee for the big drop-off stuff, so then I was looking at the Appendix A for the fire department, and I see that, well, somebody was talking about a 5% increase on the insurance for this year, but it doesn't matter if you don't go with them. But in any case, this appendix, basically all I see are where there weren't fees before, there are now fees for items that we didn't have before. And for items that that were existing, I don't think there's any increases. And I don't understand why in the situation that you're in, and these activities and these items that you buy can't possibly not be going up in price. So I just can't imagine why we wouldn't be taking that appendix and adding 5% or doing something to it. I think we should be looking at every possible avenue for revenue. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else like to add some comments? All right. Great. Okay, come on up.
I don't know if this is the time, but my name is,
You can comment, or it's not going to be a conversation.
Okay,
We're not
okay.
gonna act on it.
all right, Lynn Sandel, S51W22996, Partridge Lane. And my concern is traffic on Partridge Lane and people going through the stop signs constantly. There's a lot of walkers on that street, and there's times that you jump off of the road because either they're going through the stop signs or they're driving too fast. You can hear the traffic in the morning, like from between 6:30 and maybe 7:38, just flying through. They don't even stop. And it's like, you know, what's going on? Same thing happens at night, after 9 at night. They will just be going through the stop signs and not stopping. I noticed there's one stop sign when you come in from the east going west. Or one 25-mile-per-hour speed limit. If you come in from the west going east, there's two. And there's a curve that if you're heading east and walking, there's a curve between Cottontail and Ermine Court that people can't see you because they're just driving so fast. There's no slow, there's no, winding road, anything like that. I guess I'd just like that to be discussed.
Could you just give me those times again, just so I can take note of them?
Oh, like in the morning,
Yep.
You can hear cars going through from 6:30, maybe between 6:30, 6:45, 8:30, whatever. You can just hear them. They don't stop. And then at night, anything like after 9 o'clock, a lot of them just don't stop. And there are a lot of children on that street.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else with comments? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. Going through the reports, should be in your packet. We'll start with Clerk Treasurer.
It's in the packet.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, concerns for the board? Very well. Public Works is in there as well. Any comments, questions, concerns there? Okay. Fire Department, same. I brought it up before, but just finishing up on it, but we will have the new format to that report for the next meeting. That'll look similar to the next one as far as the layout goes. Nothing on the fire side, then we'll switch to the sheriff's report. Anything in the, any discussion as far as what's in the report itself initially?
I have a question as it relates to how shall we proceed to address Ms. Sandel's request on the problems they're having on Partridge Drive.
Well, the deputy's here with us, and he can discuss plans that way, and looks like at least 2 lieutenants are in the back that can discuss it as well. They can do extra patrols and other things to address the issue, as I'm guessing Deputy Wood's going to talk about with the other stop sign nearby around the corner from there that he's been working on. So, go ahead.
I am Deputy Witt. I'm working currently for the Sheriff's Department, assigned to the Village of Waukesha as a contract officer. I did attach, it's a spreadsheet for that specific intersection of Big Bend and Glendale with stop signs, where we've been getting a significant amount of complaints of people driving through. Earlier in the year, as you guys can see, I wasn't able to get a lot of visual traffic or see violations that were happening. However, I could tell that there was an issue because a lot of the cars would see me and then stop. More recently, I did speak with one of the neighbors who lives at that intersection. They've been allowing me to use their driveway so that I can sit a little bit farther away from the intersection. Since I've been doing that, I've been able to see the people who are violating these stops and take law enforcement action as necessary. And to, I believe it was Ms. Sandalwood's complaint, there was actually somebody the other day that I got, I want to say it was right around 48 miles an hour going down Partridge. So it is happening. I am acknowledging that there are significant speeding issues as well as stop sign violation issues that are happening. I am actively trying to patrol the area more regularly and show a larger presence, tried to put a stop to some of this and do what I can. I do spend the majority of my time patrolling that area, both Big Bend Road and Glendale Road, as well as Partridge and a little bit farther up closer to Lonsdale, to try to stop some of this behavior. So if you guys have questions, I do have other complaints from other citizens of the Village of Waukesha that are upset about speeding or stop sign violations. I got one yesterday about 318 where people are not following the street signs or the new intersection at Sunset and Highway 318 where they're blowing through. He said he saw 4 people go through a red light. So I am trying to actively patrol as much as I can on Big Bend. I know that's an issue right now with a lot of people violating the speed limit laws as well as the violations for the stop signs.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there any way that, based on Partridge Lane specifically, that there's any way we can put up some kind of signage that lets them know that there is a presence watching them there, and so that they understand that if they are breaking the law, that they are at risk?
I mean, there's nothing on my end that I can put up. That would be a village board decision. I am there to enforce the laws. If someone's violating those laws, they should expect that there is some kind of enforcement that will follow through with that.
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to really help us any, Roger, with a sign out there saying slow down. They already have speed limit signs and such in the area, so.
I'm not saying a sign like that. I'm saying a sign that is a bigger sign that says, you know, something like you smile, you're on camera, and letting people know that there is a circumstance.
So I will make a note to say that most of the people that I pull over will openly admit to me that they know that they violated the law, whether that be stop sign or speeding. That being said, every person knowingly violating the law should expect that there are consequences that are going to happen for that.
Can we get the speed trailer in there?
Yeah, I can definitely talk to Lieutenant, see if we can get the speed trailer down there.
Not at this point, ma'am. That's not how the forum works for this. Sorry. That's what the comments before was for. Yep. Yeah, that might be useful in that area then. like,
Yeah.
From what's being talked about on Partridge. I don't know if that still gathers the data or if it's just presence or both.
I'll talk to the sheriff's department, see if we can get set up.
Is there anything that we can do, like put something in the newspaper about the problem specifically in that area and acknowledging, to people that, Partridge Drive is, there is a lot of speeding and there's a lot of stop sign running in that area, and that the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department will be monitoring it closely. I mean, is there something that we can inform, the populace in the village of Waukesha that is
Part of
indeed-
that is gonna be me on the road. They're gonna see me on the road. I would say 80% of the people that I'm stopping for violations of speeding or stop sign violations live in the area.
Right.
So they will know that I'm there because they'll be able to see me.
I don't think we have to do anything like that. You get a driver's license, you know the law. You know the laws of the road. You should be able to follow them.
Right, because I guess, to your point, if we're gonna entertain that, then we just make an advertisement, put every single road name on there in the village, like saying, don't speed anywhere in the village, because he already said that there's other
Well,
roads that there are issues on as well, right?
if they're breaking the law, speeding and running stop signs, they're not gonna read the sign
Right.
that you
Well,
put
read
up.
the paper and know that that is the circumstance. So, maybe there's nothing that, if there's something that puts people on notice, and a lot of people get the Waukesha Freeman here, I think it might have an effect as far as that's concerned, but Chad, I guess I'd have to talk to you more about
I
that.
think a marked squad out present is what's gonna be the deterrent from that perspective.
Do
Just
what?
understand that the past practice with that is as soon as that squad leaves to go and start enforcing somewhere else, because now he's spending a lot of time in that neighborhood.
Mhm.
Now Lawrence Lane's gonna start complaining, or Donald Drive, or Lonsdale by, wherever, that somewhere else is gonna start complaining, and then when we leave to go to do that, then it's gonna continue back at that location. So heavy enforcement on the front side, but then balancing it out with other enforcement across the community would be beneficial from that perspective. You're only second shift, so can we request that there's some extra enforcement on the other shift, specifically in this early hour time frame?
Yeah,
rush
absolutely.
hour and such,
I
that's
think,
what
most of the complaints I get are either right around when people are heading into work or to school.
Yeah, it's kind of what was
and-
referenced
yep.
before, right? So
Yep.
if we could do that, that'd be great as well. And if there's some means that you could document that between their shifts so that we could have an idea
Yep.
what we're seeing.
I can put something together and let you guys know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, any other questions for Deputy Witt or his
Thank you.
supervisors in the back? Hello?
Got any abandoned blackberries in front?
Right?
You don't lose the manpower.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll move on. There's a weed commissioner report in there, hopefully you guys saw that. Any questions on that one? I don't see him here tonight to address anything there. Non-compliance, there's a couple of the properties that are on there that will be on the agenda for later, as you've seen. Under letters C and D, we'll discuss those at that time. Any other issues as far as that report goes besides those? All right, looks like we've got that newer one on Big Ben that's in there. Looks like they've already talked to Jared, so hopefully that helps a little bit to get that one squared away relatively quickly. Anything else on the reports? All right, we'll move on then. Approval of previous meeting minutes specifically for September 25 of 2025. Anybody see any change, anything needs to be made, or make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from 9/25/25.
Okay,
I can second that.
all right, motion and seconded, any discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving the September 25th meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That's unanimous. All right. Discussion of possible action items. We'll begin with operator's license for Hannah Hastings. You here? Yeah. All right, if you can come on to the microphone up here. Hello. So it was brought up at the last meeting, about your application for the operative's license. And, there was discussion of having you come back and talk to the board. We're not gonna publicly dig deep into, your personal life as far as, past things that have occurred, but you do have a couple things on your application here that I guess rose some concern that they wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, so I have been undergoing some, have done alcohol treatment in the past. There was just a really rough point in my life previously where I had drank too much. That was then sorted out and served my sentencing, and I'm just trying to I've had this job for a little over a year, and I just want to be able to close the bar by myself and open the bar by myself and just to have that. I've already been serving drinks. I'm like a normal, I work full-time there. This is just kind of the next step that people need in order to get there, or be able to be in the building by themselves. It's not like a known issue with me. I'm undergoing therapy, but that's besides the point. Yeah, it would be a good next step for me to keep working there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Board, any questions? So you're already doing the bartender deal,
Yeah,
so to
it's
speak.
already
just
you're already
under the
there.
wing of somebody else.
But since there's other bartenders, certified bartenders in the building, I'm able to. But if they weren't there, then I would have to get out behind the bar. So it's just kind of the next step for so people don't have to stay later for people that aren't certified.
Okay. She's here. You had a question, unless what she said is sufficient for.
Well, my concern was if this is a good step for your next move, being what you serve alcohol and what you previous have had, and obviously to make our citizen here safe in the village of Waukesha and make sure that you're safe also. And I think that was our concern for you to come back
Right.
and tell us what was going on. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no other questions, and someone make a motion, or? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the regular operator's license for Hannah Hastings.
I'll second it.
All right. Any other discussion, gentlemen? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving of the license, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? That carries.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. There is another one for same establishment that's under page Ebert. It's up next on the agenda.
There
Looks
was
like-
no, there
go
was
ahead.
no record found.
Yep,
when I
everything's
did
clear there, and the paperwork is all in order. The correct boxes are checked, which we talked about last time. So that's good.
I'll
We'll
make a motion to give the operations to Paige Ebert.
I'll second the motion.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the operator's license for Page, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Unanimous, thank you. Up next, James Barton letter to request an extension to bring the property located at South 37 West 27438 Genesee Road into compliance. Sir, come on up to the microphone, give us your name and address.
Is James Barton, S37W27336 Genesee Road. The farmhouse, the roof has been patched. We contacted 7 roofing companies to redo the entire roof, and 2 of them never returned the call. The other ones said they're booked basically through the winter into the spring. On the bottom half of the house, the south-facing part of the house has been painted. The 7 buildings that were on the list have all been torn, well, 2 of them had already collapsed then. We had the neighbor come over, he had to have a special excavator, rented that was $600, and he spent 2 days, well, 2 afternoons and evenings working on that. The main thing now is just clearing each of those buildings up. But we also had a friend of his with a dump trailer haul away farm implements and scrap metal and things like that. So that's cleared up, but it's still just the volume of the lumber and roofing from the buildings has to be cleaned up. So we're requesting an extension. We still have, I think it's 17 days left on the thing. I'm off work the last 2 days of this month, so it'd be like a 4-day period I'm working on it. But just to make sure that we're within the thing, requesting an extension on the time.
Okay. The building inspector sent us a few photos, or sent me photos in the clerk's office from Tuesday. I do see that from these photos, the lower south portion of the siding is freshly painted. The rest of it looks pretty tattered and such still. But according to Tuesday's picture, the house's roof is still a mess. But you're saying today now it's fixed, so since Tuesday they fixed it?
Yeah, I worked on it all day, well, most of yesterday and today. I had to patch it working from the inside because the roof is too steep to do without the equipment that the roofers use. But it's patched in and it's covered with tar paper or roll roofing. Right now it's not the best looking thing, but it's intact.
I don't know how that fixes it.
Well, they said the hole had to be patched, so it's patched. But we're like I said, we're trying.
But you're saying that the patch is on the inside of the rafters?
No, I was working inside, working up it, so that I didn't have to be on a ladder up on the roof. I was working from inside and then closing it in. It's all on top of the roofing paper, and tar paper is all on top of the existing roofing.
Okay, so you've replaced the plywood and stuff too?
Yeah, there's the panels were in.
Because there's like physical holes in the roof according to Tuesday's picture. That's what I'm asking. Not just shingles missing, but actual holes.
Yeah. And the other part has tarpaulin over it.
Okay. Board, anything you guys want to talk about? Oh, you guys can't see these pictures. I mean, I can pass my phone around if you want, but. Oh, did you? Okay. If you want to talk, come on up to the microphone, please. Give us your name and address.
So what you're looking at is an extension past the 10th of November in case you go longer than that?
I can't predict the future, but like I said, the main thing now is clearing up all the construction debris from the thing, the different buildings that were torn out. It's 97 years of things we've lived on the farm, so it's taken a while. Well, like I said, we've got the neighbor helping, and he's out of the state right now on business, but he's gonna arrange to, where it was that Quonset hut kind of building, have Waukesha and see if he can get them to come out and pick that up.
When's our next board meeting?
After the 10th.
November 13th.
That's why we put it on tonight instead of the next
That's the
meeting.
commission one, right?
Yeah, it's the joint one.
When's the regular meeting?
November 25th.
Is that what day it was? Because we changed to Tuesday the 25th.
If we gave it to the 25th of November, would that be long enough?
I think so, but I can't guarantee it.
Oops.
I mean, we already asked for 6 months. We've already given them 6 months on top of what was already a 2-month-old complaint at that point. So we're already up to 8 months right now of non-compliance on it. I understand that he's working through it all, but he asked for 6 months and now he's asking for more.
If we could just have, I'm sorry, Lori Barton, it's 37W27336 Genesee Road. If we could just have 1 month, because over the summertime when it wasn't raining, we were taking outdoors, windows, the roofs. I mean, these buildings are 90 plus years old, and even though they are over 90 years old, they were built sturdy. And I mean, we had to have John O'Brien come out and take them down with a, what's that thing, excavator. And we have been working hard, and I worked so hard that I ended up with 2 hernias that I had to have surgery on. And I was told not to do anything for 6 weeks, but I had to help. And these buildings were before 1949, so we thought maybe grandfathered in, but I guess not. And I just wanted to say that this has been emotionally difficult because it was 4 generations of my family on this farm, and we haven't done anything wrong. You know, yeah, the buildings are old and some of them did start to come down, but it was 4 generations of our family for 97 years working on this farm, and we're at the point where we just want to sell it and just leave. You know, we can't help it. We've really, really tried. And, you know, we had to, I can't go into other things that are going on, but things were discussed at the last meeting with a neighbor, and we've tried. And if we could just have another month, you know, because we're trying to hold on to this at least until we hit the 100-year mark in 1928, and we have tried our best. And if you were to see it, it's like it's in piles, and we've gotten,
Yeah,
you know,
it's in the picture.
yeah, 2 dumpsters of stuff, and you know, all that stuff that was hauled away, and you know, it's expensive to haul this stuff away. One guy was saying he would do it for $1,000 a day, but we're working our best to get this taken care of. You know, and it's the only farm left in the area. Well, what's left of 114 acres, we only have like 7 acres left. So I'm just asking one time for something to please go our way. You know, if you saw the pictures, you saw that everything was torn down, and we've been getting rid of everything. We've had 2 dumpsters now for $1,000, and we're going to get probably another 2 coming out just to get rid of everything. It's evidence of our family being there for almost 100 years, and that hurts a lot.
What are your plans for putting it on the market? Are you saying you would need a month?
No.
We're not planning on putting it on the market. A month to clean up. It was just the point of, you know, just the frustration and everything. We're not selling it right now. So we want to hold on to it, but we are working as best we can on cleaning up all. Like I said, we tore down all the buildings. It's clearing them off the land.
And we have to work with schedules, our work schedules, and the work schedules, because the guy who tore down the buildings, he has been going down to Kentucky for his job. So we have to work with his schedule, and then a friend of mine came over and pulled down the front of the garage so we could start cleaning that, but it's, you know, foot thick walls that we are trying to pull down, and luckily when John came, we did get them down.
So James was asking for like another week or 2, but you're saying a month, so what?
No, we have like until the 10th of November.
Right, I understand that, but she was saying she wants another month.
Well, no,
a month from now?
From now.
You want another month extension beyond what you already have?
So December 10th.
That's why I'm asking what the ask is here.
Yeah, December 10th, I'm sorry.
It shouldn't take that long. But
no, because we never heard about any kind of penalty until we got something in the mail about it.
Well, no, we heard, the only thing we saw was the neighbor with the adverse possession, and it was in a communication from, I guess, his lawyer. They never said anything about a fine, daily fine before that.
It's in every letter, right? It's in the letter. Yeah, the original letter that you've gotten from the clerk's office indicating that there was an issue with the zoning compliance and such that brought this to your attention back March roughly. That letter says that not bringing it into compliance would result in citations being issued.
But it didn't say anything about the $13.50 a day.
That's the citation.
Right, that's just a dollar amount. It's telling you that you're going to be cited if you don't bring it into compliance. So you're right, it may not say the dollar amount, but it is saying that you'd be issued citations.
And that's from the initial complaint, correct?
That's on the initial letter that goes to the property owner when the complaint comes in, yes.
I wouldn't have a problem of giving them till the next commission meeting, which would be what, December?
The next commission meeting would be December 11, so a month and a day beyond. what they-
That would be a month for them, right? Correct?
Yeah, it'd be, because it's currently November 10th is the expiration of the extension, so it'd be going to December 11th. One more month and one more day from what they have.
So you're telling us that if you have an additional extension, that you will be able to bring the property into compliance? Is
As
that
far
what
as
you're
I
saying?
know. It's clearing the buildings, it's just the bulk of how much is there, getting the dumpsters to do that.
Have you talked to our building inspector recently to make sure that you're not missing something with that?
No.
As
No.
far as the list? Well, you need to do that, because he's the one that's telling us whether it's compliant or not.
Okay.
So you have to appease him and his standards and things from that perspective. If he says, to the point of the email with the photos he sent Tuesday, if he's saying it's not in compliance, then we go off of his report that way. So you need to reach out and talk to him. His name is Jared. He's here Tuesdays and Thursdays until 10 a.m.
I will make a motion. I will make a motion that we give them to the December 10th meeting. Is that what it was?
December 11th.
December 11th Plan Commission meeting to get it in compliance. If not, the citations start.
Okay, motion to extend it for another month, to the 11th of December. Is there a second?
I will second it.
Okay, any further discussion?
Yeah, I just want to iterate what you had said, Chad, about the building inspector. I think that's what the president said, that something that you guys need to do, because like I say, he's the one that's going to tell you what's wrong, what isn't wrong, so you don't come back and say, I didn't know that. Seriously, you gotta make that move.
I'm fairly certain if we go back to the meeting that we gave you the extension, which I think was May, if I'm not mistaken, I thought we said at that point we weren't gonna give you any further extensions, you had to have this done, and you agreed to that. So there's some grace here to your concerns and things as far as if we go another month, but don't expect something beyond that day if this motion is approved. Because we're already going past what we would,
Yes.
and I'd imagine that if our attorney sitting next to us were to be asked about this, he'd probably say you shouldn't be doing this. That out of compliance, we should be issuing citations. So, not to speak on his behalf, but that's been comments in the past. So, all right, any further discussion?
Yes, not coming into compliance as of December 11th, what will be the daily fine for them after that point? Do we have that information?
Something like 1351, something like.
It's over $1,000 a day.
It's 1,000 days.
Over $1,000 per day. So
Okay.
it's in compliance. Yep. That's how those get to be such large dollar amounts in a relatively quick amount of time.
Yep.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of giving a final extension to the Barton residence on Genesee Road, specifically to December 11th, say aye.
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 Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, you've been granted until December 11th. Please make sure you're talking to Jared, our building inspector, and get it
Okay.
resolved.
Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much.
All right. All right, up next is the request for it's an update to the extension provided to Merlin Minster, who owns the property at West 261 South 3547 Genesee Road, regarding a similar issue of bringing that property into compliance. Who'd like to speak? Would you like to come up to the microphone, sir? You can sit at the table if you want. We can turn that microphone up. That helps you with the walker and such.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can just have a seat in one of those blue chairs there, and yeah, just as long as the light's turned on.
It's green.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks for the help. Are you Merlin?
Yes, I am.
Okay, if you give us your full.
W261-3547 Genesee Road.
Okay. What's that? Yep, that's what I'm gonna ask you to say, yep. Thank you.
Excuse me, I've never been to one of these before. And, first off, thanks for the extension that you gave me, because obviously I'm limited. It's hard to find good manpower, even my late wife would have helped, but it's just hard to find someone. Okay. Everything that was on, this list here, and I don't know what's the latest pictures you have, but on that, side of my property, which is right on, West Falk Parkway, it's all clear. There's nothing there. It's all cleared off. I had one of those canvas, like Quonset hut type, storage units. And then I had and I had no idea that they were illegal, so to speak. And then I had a big woodshed, not a woodshed, a wood rack with, wood stacked on there. I didn't know that was illegal either, but now it's all gone. And like I said, everything on this list has been taken care of.
Okay.
Up to this point. And then every time, I am talking to Jared, and I'm a concrete / mason for 45 years, so I've dealt with a lot of building inspectors over the years, get permits and so on and so forth. But it's like every time I get something done, and this is what's cited, and then there's something else that pops up. A couple days ago, I have a big, huge garden every year. It's on the other side of the house. I've lived there for 40 years. And I had a wheelbarrow living up against my, it's a limestone shed. It's probably 120 years old. The house is 160 years old. And I had a couple shovels sitting there for the garden. And he said, I can't have it. I mean, I can't have a wheelbarrow and 2 shovels in a back garden. That's ridiculous. Is it okay if I put it in the garden? No. I mean, this is nitpick, I think. So I put it away. Because then he cited section 837 code, no noxious weeds, no construction debris. There's no debris. There's no open storage. Well, that's kind of vague and open for interpretation. Would you consider if you had a big ladder hanging on the side of your garage on hooks?
Well, Mr. President, this
Sure.
board does not determine whether it's a violation or not. This just determines, that's the building inspector's progress. If he has issues with that, more than happy to give him the ticket and he can tell the story to the judge. You do not
Yeah, nope.
determine whether there's a violation, and all he's talking about is whether he doesn't believe he's in violation.
Right.
That's not an issue for this board.
Right. No, that's a good point. So, sir, I got a email from the building inspector driving by today again. At the last meeting, you were not present. Your son was here speaking on your behalf.
Yeah, my son.
Yep, I know. Like, he put his hand up. I didn't know if he was gonna say something or what, I didn't. That's fine, just you can sit by your dad if you wish, but I'm gonna speak now at this moment. And he kinda took ownership of this with you to help you out with it, being that he lives at the property as well, from what he said. And things have been addressed with him as well, so if you guys are not communicating properly on this, that's not our fault. Part of what's been addressed with you two is the shed. You have a shed that you erected on the property that is not in compliance. It was off of your property partially into the public area on the side where you initially put it. You dragged it to the back. You can argue one way or the other, but to the attorney's point, we're not arguing this today. You erected a shed on the property without a building permit. He's told you guys that, and that's another thing that, you're right, was not in your original letter, because you've erected a new shed on the property without a building permit after the fact as a means to hide some of the stuff that you've got stored. Okay, so you're not in compliance at this point. And so that's been basically the update.
Okay. Where I did have that, it doesn't matter, I didn't put, shut up, but where that is there, where I had that wood rack that's down, and I said everything's gone, there's nothing
Yeah,
there.
but to the attorney's point, Jared's indicating there's other things on the property that are still not in compliance. One of the things that was been addressed with your son also, because I'm just pointing out the things, when you weren't present at the meeting, he was this kenneling process with the cats in the backyard. That was another issue that was brought up to your son, that apparently has been talked to about, and that still all remains. So there are multiple things there that are not up to speed with what Jared needs to say is in compliance. We can't work that out with you here, to the attorney's point. We can only tell you what we've seen in the photos that were taken today. It's still not in compliance. We've given you extensions. We gave you another extension till this month. And so we're in a situation where you've done things. I drive by your house 1, 3, 5, 10 times a day, depending on active I am in my vehicle from where I live to you guys. And every time I drive by, I see your son or somebody else out front with the big enclosed trailer. And for the last month and a half, 2 months, other than the trailer moving, I'll be honest, I haven't seen anything done. Just by my many drive-bys that I do, just because I happen to live close to you.
Everything done where I'm.
Like, it just, every time I drive by, it looks the same as far as what's out in the yard in different locations. And that's Jared's point here, is it's not to compliance. So,
That whole side is gone.
you're gonna have to talk with Jared again. If you need a more formalized list from him, then we will get that for you, but you're not in compliance, the things are not done that he's asked you to do.
So I was here last time. We spoke about the shed.
Yep.
And you guys had thought, or Jared, or whomever, that I put a shed on, I put a slab and put a shed on. There was no pouring of the slab or anything, I was already there.
Yep, but you've erected a shed on the property.
I asked, I don't cut you off. I asked you guys, what do you want me to do? What's the, where do you want me to put it? And the answer you guys gave me was, put it in the back area. No, here. And you guys said, on the side, as long as it's not on the edge of the property. So when I talked to Jared, I said, Dave, he's the only guy I've ever talked to. So he said, I have to get a permit for the shed. Which you guys did say I didn't need to have.
And I'll admit to that, sir, I did misspeak last time because we had recently made changes to that ordinance about smaller accessory buildings like that. And just to make sure I was correct or incorrect, I had the clerk pull a copy of it for me tonight because it's not posted on the website yet with the updates. And what we did was we made changes to the ordinance specific to those small, like plastic type sheds you can buy from Home Depot. They're like Rubbermaid brand sheds. Those no longer need a permit, but the one you have does require a permit with the village, which is what Jared is indicating. So, right, so, but that's yet another part of this that's not in compliance. You have, in the course of this whole thing going on, now erected a shed that doesn't have a building permit, and you haven't gotten one. It's a simple process, and, right, but to my understanding with Jared, he's told you that you need one, so.
Otherwise, you said you don't need a slab, you don't need this, just put it on the other side of the house. Like I said, I'll get a permit tomorrow, I don't have a problem with that. Why would I, Really, do get a permit here?
You'd have to come in, yeah, either fill out the paperwork and mail it in, or come in and stop it and to drop the paperwork off at the clerk's office. Jared does not need to be here when you drop that off or file it. The clerks will take it and give it to him.
Clerk's office?
Yeah, it's the one here. You just passed the window too. where you come in and vote and do other things here, just the other side of this wall?
Yeah, I will, yeah.
Yep. Well, we talked about that though, and I will cut you off on this point because we talked about that, and I very specifically remember you saying in here, in the prior meeting when you were here, that the cats are well taken care of, that they're your wife's like babies essentially is how you worded it. So you knew that was one of the things we've talked about that's an issue. We did address it and talked about it in here, to the fact that I remember that comment from you, and it's still the same way as it was before. So.
I didn't know until today. I didn't think it was a problem. I didn't now see it, or I would've got a permit. Oh, yeah, we do. Now you have to, just like a chicken coop is have.
So you need to have a sit down with Jared to get this resolved, because regardless of whether you get an extension, you have to resolve these issues with him. We're not the ones to resolve it. So do you guys have any questions? I know I've been talking back and forth with them, but.
I just had a quick question. As far as this cat thing, it's not my cat. You can't get a permit for that? Or it needs to be?
Work it out with Jared on what needs to be done.
Oh.
All of the above, work out with Jared. He will give you, he's the expert in all that. He's the one that gives you the all clear for us to say it's no longer an issue. That's not us.
Okay.
How many cats are there? And they're kept outside?
Yeah, it's in the pictures.
Yeah, I know, I saw it.
Yeah, it's the one that's got like clear plastic.
Under the
over it.
plastic, yeah.
Yeah, they're all there. Got a nice, article.
What it is when I bought the place, like I said, in 40 years, it's an old dog kennel. It's just wires, probably 6 foot tall, 25 feet in diameter, and put a tarp over it.
Yeah. And, I have.
Well, then,
Anybody else?
I thought there was more cats than that, but, okay.
So the extension that was provided last month, nope, I apologize. It was in August that we gave the extension through tonight, so we gave 2 additional months at that point. And this too has been going on since end of March, beginning of April, like the last one that was just discussed. So this one has a deadline of tonight. Sure.
What are we looking at here? I mean, are we looking for another extension? Has that been requested, or?
One
I
hasn't
don't-
been requested at this point. We're discussing,
whether-
because it expires today.
I know. But it sounds like you're asking them to go talk to Jared now. Is that gonna?
Well, I'm not saying extension or otherwise. They have to go talk to Jared because it's not in compliance. And he's the one that, if they have questions, which Jared told me Tuesday when I was in the office in person here in the morning, that he's talked to them, and it's like they're not hearing everything he says. So. Again, and that's fine. You can stop at this point, sir, because as the attorney already mentioned, this isn't the court hearing here, right? We've given you a fairly open forum to discuss some things, but that truly is more, you know, if it does go to citation, that you have to bring up to the judge. So hold on a second. I want to hear the board.
The shed that was moved, is that in a good spot now or not?
I guess I'd have to look at the lot lines. That'd be a question for Jared. I don't know that I mean, looking at the pictures and what our offsets are and stuff, I'd have to see where the rear lot line is to be able to give you an answer, but.
Because I know I drove by there today, and I know the north side of the property is cleaned up pretty good. I noticed that.
Yeah, like the big wood rack is gone, right?
Yeah, the big wood rack's gone, and it's pretty cleaned up on that side. It's the other side of the house, the south side, that.
Yeah, so pictures, so it looks like you did some work even in the last 2 days.
Cause that's where the sheds move to, right? The south side of the house? Towards the back of the house?
Yeah, it had to move from where it was when we talked about it last, because looked like, according to GIS and such, that it was splitting the lot line. Half of the shed was on the lot, and half the shed was in the right of way to the
State
highway.
property, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's where they had to move, because even when you looked at the aerial photos of that stuff, the wood rack and stuff wasn't even entirely on his property, that was also partially into the right of way as well that way. So yeah, that part is definitely better, I agree. What's that? Yeah.
It was hell for a year and a half.
Yep.
I didn't know each day if I was even getting a mailbox. Where?
Yep.
The on-site manager told me, okay, this is your property. I had this land I poured there 20 years ago.
Yeah, well,
This is where you need to saw cut it.
yep, so
You have to cut slope.
that's not part of tonight's discussion here. I understand what you're saying, but you need to know what your lot lines are. If you need to get a surveyor out there that put the stakes in so you can actually see that, then you should do that, but that stuff was not entirely on your property. So,
If I may say, what we have here is we have a property that's out of compliance. We have, the building inspector, or Jared, has been working with you. You need to get a list from him exactly what needs to be done.
he has a list, Roger. That's what I'm
Okay,
trying to say
then-
before is Roger, that Jared said he's given him that.
And then a compliance date.
I just got a list from him yesterday.
Okay.
I just got a list yesterday. I'll show you on my phone.
Okay, so to trustee Stigler's question just 2 minutes or so ago, are you asking for extension, or what are you here for tonight, other than the fact that we asked you to come back?
Yeah, just, it's not gonna take long to get a permit and figure out if that thing's gotta go, or if I can have a permit for that. I won't know unless I talk. Okay, sure.
Another question then is that permit, as we talked about before, about setbacks, when you built it, is it gonna be in compliance then? Will the shed have to be moved again? Is that gonna add some more time to this?
No,
I mean,
it's probably, 12, 15 feet from the house.
It's not the house, it's the lot lines setback. from
Well,
the lot
it's all
lines.
the above, as long as it's gotta be, 10 feet at least from other buildings and stuff, so.
Well, I'm saying, are we gonna, is the slab in this
But
position?
the son dragged it to the other location, he said last time we were here, so
I know that, but
Right.
did he drag it to the right place?
I have.
that's a question for Jared, I guess he has to ask.
Okay, that's another issue then. I don't wanna come back here and say 10 days from now and find out that, yeah, we got a building permit, but we're still looking at the shed being in the wrong place, so it's still not gonna be in compliance.
Sir, I've lived there 40 years.
I understand that.
But
It's not in a lot.
Jared won't sign off on the building permit being accomplished if it's not in the correct location, so that would be a part of the building.
Okay, I guess we're just sitting here back and
So-
forth, you know, and we're not getting anywhere.
I have another limestone shed sitting there, and this other shed we moved is like 6 feet away from it.
Okay, I've heard enough at this point. I appreciate your input and, in the conversation, so, at this point, it's up to the board what you guys wanna do.
Well, I'm gonna ask him, do you guys want extension or not?
Yeah, he just said yes.
How long do you need?
2 weeks, not even that.
I would do what we did with the other guy. I'll make a motion that we give him to December 11th. It's gotta be cleaned up, final ultimatum, or the citations start to be issued.
I'll second that.
And in the meantime, you gotta really get with Jared and make sure it's cleaned up. Make sure it's in the compliance.
Yeah, well, that one side you said you drove by, it's like clean.
The north side looks good. The wood rack and all that stuff is gone, yes, I agree. But everything you can't see that's not in compliance, that's what's gotta be in compliance. Cause if Jared comes back and says that it's not in compliance, then it won't be in compliance.
Any other discussion from the board?
I think we should just let them know there's citations, again, like you said, the last fella was in here, that there would be a fine of, again,
Over $1,000 a day.
just so you know.
That's from the day that the initial complaint was issued.
Want him to appear at this meeting again? At the December 11th meeting?
Yeah, unless we got information from Jared that it's in compliance.
I don't know that we need him to come back again, because if you're saying the ultimatum is that day and we're not getting another extension, then it just goes in
True.
to citation mode.
We just gotta hear from Jared by then.
Right, which
We will.
Jared can give us that report. They don't need to come back for that unless you want him to.
No, he doesn't have to come back.
I said if it's in compliance, there's no need.
Okay. All right, any further discussion from the board? All right, if nothing further that way, all those in favor of the extension for the property at West 261 South 3547 Genesee Road to be extended to 12/11 to become brought into compliance, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any those opposed, I will say nay. Okay, you've got until December 11th to make sure that Jared signs off on everything.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, up next on the agenda is, it's a Tico or Teco?
Tech 6.
What?
I think it's Tech 6.
Is it? No, I think it's a 0, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know, I thought it said Teco.
Maybe it's Teco.
Well, I know, but I'm looking at the,
Oh, at the bottom of it?
I guess it's Teco. I think you're right.
I thought it
yeah,
was,
it's TEKO on the back page,
Yeah, and that's what's in the
so.
email address too.
Well, at any rate, they came in and did a little bit of inspecting for us on the HVAC system for the property, for the campus here, specifically this building. Talking to Chris, there's not been any service at work, like maintenance-wise and stuff, that's been getting done for at least as long as you've been here.
yeah, probably
So,
5 years, 6 years.
Apparently no maintenance whatsoever for at least 5 years. They've inspected some things, and so this initially is to more or less be a maintenance contract moving forward for the things that we would want to be doing annually to that equipment. Be aware, in addition to that, there is work that needs to be done on the rooftop units that are apparently full of sand and stuff that need to be cleaned, but that can wait until spring because it's the air conditioning side of the system. The furnace in this part of the building that's heating this area, apparently from that inspection is from the mid or to late 80s as far as the age of the furnace. And it's deteriorated that it needs to be replaced, so they're gonna be giving us a quote to replace that. That's in and above all of this. So this is specific to getting service work done on a more regular basis or annual basis as we need it. Have you been able to review
Is
this
this-
document?
No, has it been sent over? No, I don't.
Okay. It has not had a legal review as far as the language of the, I know it's a fairly simple one, but
Does this include the furnaces, the modines, and all that stuff? Both the hall, the firehouse, and
Yeah, this whole building.
their building too?
No, I don't think it includes, no, it doesn't include the DPW. They don't have, they have those, garage units that they put in.
Modines.
Yeah, is that what those are?
Yeah, it's out in the bays of the fire station too.
Those, yeah, no, those aren't part of it. There's a exchanger for the service room that they look at. And then there's a rooftop air unit and the air conditioning unit outside, and then there's 2 furnaces in the basement.
yeah, if you look at page 2 of the contract on the bottom, it lists the units that it's referencing.
Yeah, it says modines on there.
Does it? Okay.
That's, I just wanted to clarify that. The Armstrong modine, or, yeah, that's a modine, and then the Resiner is a modine, I think.
So yes.
Okay,
It looks like it's all the above, as
Okay.
to your question.
okay.
I didn't realize that's what this was.
I'll make a motion that we accept the contract for Teco 6, or Teco to do our maintenance and inspections on our furnaces and air conditioning for 2026.
All right, is there any second to that?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, do you want any stipulation that the contract's reviewed by legal first, or no?
Contract should be reviewed by legal
Okay.
prior to accepting it.
All right. Any discussion? Budget workshop wise, this is one of the things we talked about the other night as far as, adding in, I think it was roughly 4,700 for this type of maintenance, that we've got money built in for that now. I think that was the number, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So it's covered going into next year. We'll have to figure out monies for replacing that furnace, cause that's not in that. All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving the contract as, the motion is, all those say aye.
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 All those opposed, I'll say aye. Motion carries unanimous. Up next is the resolution recreating Appendix A regarding ambulance fee service. Chief, you wanna come out? There's a copy in front of you on the desk for those on the board.
Hello, good evening. What you're looking at in front of you is some changes, perhaps a different model of looking at our EMS billing. What I'm offering here is a solution to bring revenues to support our ALS, Advanced Life Support model that we adopted and that our providers are providing to everybody in the village. And this offers us a more of a responsible fiscal solution to support that service level. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions that you may have with it. I know when you're looking at the Excel spreadsheet, there is an EMS billing definition as well, just to help support what you're actually looking at there.
The fee schedule, why don't you just explain the numbers that are on there for
Sure.
everybody to understand?
Yeah, so what we're looking at doing is bringing it up to a competitive level with all of our comparables in the county. And so if you look at the fee schedule in and of itself, the bottom is the averages of the Wisconsin agencies. This will put us at the lower end of the averages still. However, it still, I believe, will support our fiscal demand to provide this advanced life service at the paramedic level that we currently do. So this brings us to more competitive, I guess, operating costs, so we can continue to provide that level.
I guess just taking a slight issue with how you're saying that, this doesn't need to be competitive to the other municipalities. It's
Correct.
comparable to.
Comparable
But
to.
specifically from what we've talked about, so the top line on the fee schedule is our current numbers.
That is correct.
And then
I'm sorry.
underneath in the space where it says Village of Waukesha would be the proposed numbers that are on the first page of the packet.
Correct. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
So from what we talked about in person, leading up to this is not to be a competition of any sort or anything like
Nope.
that, but specifically that it's basically getting us closer to breaking even on consumables and such that come with one of these ambulance runs, so that we're not, I don't say losing money, but that we're at least covering the cost of the things that get used at a ambulance call with more equipment or more consumables.
Absolutely, that is correct.
From
Yep.
that perspective. So I guess just to better explain that.
Cannot charge more than an actual cost.
Right.
Correct.
This is money making, and we're,
If challenged, you have to have a study to support these numbers, and that is not a study. I mean, I think that's what you're saying, Mr. President. And I'll just tell you, there was a challenge, and you're maybe well aware of it. The Village of Pewaukee was challenged by the retired fire chief from the city of Milwaukee and his widow, when he passed, for all of the charges they incurred assisting him prior to his death. And it was very easy for the Village of Pewaukee to defend the charge. It was the exact number the city of Pewaukee charged them under the contract.
Okay.
So that was an easy one, when the court got it, and they went to court. When the court said, how did you come up with the fee? They said, we didn't even tack any charges on it. City of Pewaukee sent us a bill, and that's what we sent them. That justified the fee. So that's an easy one. And I'll tell you, if you're ever looking for a good study, I can't say on this topic, but how to do a study, if you ever, any community's ever in mind, the DPW director in the Village of Summit has some of the best studies defending her fees that I have ever seen, in 40-some years. So that's, when you talk to your industry, if any of them have done a study, it would just be helpful to have something like that in the file.
Okay.
So, I guess to that point, not that you have to document it all here, but you have documentation to be able to back these numbers up to say that this was what that costs? Because you're saying.
Yes, this was.
In the narrative of the front page of this packet, it says at the very least, we will be reimbursed for the cost, so we did not lose money.
Correct. And this was working with our EMS provider, or I'm sorry, our assigned representative through our billing company to make sure these numbers were where they should be, if you will.
Okay, but that's kind of the answer. You have something, I guess. If you don't, then please, to John's point, then have something on hand that's able to justify these exact numbers as far as the cost of, I don't know, intubation tubes and whatever all else that's getting used at one of these calls.
Okay.
To show that, so that we don't lose that in court if it does get challenged.
Okay.
And you can do an average. I mean, you could keep track of what the actuals were for 5 or 10 of them and then do an average or things like that.
Sure.
You don't have to itemize in each case and
Sure.
defend it that way. I just want to make that clear.
Okay. That's good.
So what you're saying, on top of these numbers that you have on this first page, the numbers that we want to increase to, and then there's additional supplies and equipment that you use that'll be charged separately?
That is all wrapped into that cost.
That's all wrapped into that? So
Yep,
you won't
into
have
the
any-
cost that's in red.
Okay, so you won't have individual.
There won't be any more added on to that.
fermentations and-
Correct.
Okay.
Am I reading this right? According to the fee schedule, we're way lower than any other municipality or the,
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
so you brought it up and we're still way below.
Well, I think we need to be again to kind of justify that point where it's not about making money, it's about just supporting our service and providing, to get the cost recouped to continue to provide for monitors and such that we've been talking about. And this will hopefully do that for us.
Okay.
Because right now it's costing us more to do these services
Yeah,
and,
I understand that.
right, so.
Mm-hmm.
If we are so low, what factor did you use here? If we're not at parity yet, above, why wouldn't we be?
We are, this will bring us up to that level. Yes.
Yeah, and to be honest, I guess from my perspective, I don't necessarily, they're good to have there. I'm not really wanting to compare to the other ones. I want to make sure our numbers are to our costs, right? So it's
Mhm.
nice to see that we're cheaper than other communities, so what they're charging their residents when there's an emergency. That makes me feel better that we're asking less of our residents from that perspective. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, us compared to the city of Waukesha, doesn't really matter. It's what our costs are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Board, it's your, what is your preference as far as the proposal?
I'll make a motion to accept the appendix agreement, the ambulance fee schedule that you printed out, Joe. If all your numbers are correct, that we're just getting by and not making no money, would make that motion.
Okay, so the motion is to accept the proposed fee structure.
I'll second it.
Okay, there's not an actual resolution document though, right? We have to, is it? That's the one that's in here?
I have
Yeah,
one
it's,
that's not a red line, that's an actual
okay,
resolution, that one was just to show
Okay.
what was changed.
and this was, you already reviewed the resolution document, correct?
It's the exact same as what was, it was the exact same as what had been done in the past.
It's identical, just changing the numbers?
Just changed
And the date.
number, correct, and the date, yes.
Okay. All right, any other discussion from the board?
This is what,
Yep, okay, just wanna make sure that we have a clean one. Hearing none, all those in favor of, the motion to adopt this, updated fees schedule for, ambulance services, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, anyone opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, last question, this is effective,
As soon as we get it
put in?
over there, yep.
and so you have to get it over to the
Um,
building provider
Correct.
and moving forward then?
Yep.
Okay. Very good, thank you. 2025 tax collection agreement with Waukesha County. Chris?
This is just our annual tax collection through the county. The, rate per parcel has not increased any this year.
Okay, so it's identical to last year?
Yes,
That's nice.
yes.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the 2025 tax collection agreement with Waukesha County.
I'll second it.
Is that supposed to be 26?
Oh, yeah, the agenda should say 26.
It's, no, it's for 25 tax collection, cause it is for the 25 taxes
Yep.
that will be collected.
The actual document says 25/26 in the back, so,
Oh,
Okay.
the one on the front says 25,
Yep.
so, yeah, it's for 25 taxes.
Okay.
yep. All right, any other discussion? All those in favor of approving the tax collection agreement with Waukesha County, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries unanimous, thank you. Up next, League of Wisconsin Municipalities Mutual Insurance Presentation. Gentlemen? You can just, if you want to make it simpler, you can sit at the table there and just make sure the microphone's got a green light on it. You'll just have to share the microphone. What's that?
I feel like standing.
Okay. That's fine,
Usually
too.
there's a massive audience for insurance. I don't know what happened.
It's
They
dwindling.
might be outside. You can let them in now. Thanks for allowing us to come out and talk to you. We've met with Chris a few times, met with Chad over the phone once. What we're hoping to do tonight is just, what we're hoping to accomplish is just talk about the premiums, unless you want to introduce us
No,
first.
I was gonna say, could you please state your name?
Oh.
So I know who both of you are.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I know who they are, but so the rest of us
Everyone else
know.
knows then.
Sure. I'm Paul Lesla, and I'm with R&R Insurance. We represent the League of Wisconsin.
And I'm Matt Becker, and I run the League of Wisconsin Insurance Program.
Well, welcome.
All right. Thanks again. Thanks for having us. So I guess what we're hoping to do is just explain to you from a high-level standpoint about our insurance program. We insure the majority of cities and villages. We don't do towns, so in the past, you haven't had the opportunity for us to come in and give you a proposal. I'm going to talk a little bit about the pricing that should be in your packets. I think what we did is we gave you some information on the other municipalities that we insure. We've given you the pricing and a list of our services. And that's really what we are. You know, what we do is it's kind of like the three pillars of what we do. We get you pricing, we provide you services and very good coverages. The other three pillars that we talk about is the coverage that we provide, and that is property, liability, including your autos and your fire trucks, as well as your workers' compensation. So from a pricing standpoint, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. You can see from your documents there that I don't think we have the proposal in yet from Gladfelter, who's been insuring you for a few years.
No,
But based on, based on expiring, overall our premium looks to be going down $14,000 if you move to the League of Wisconsin. That's compared to expiring. I think they've indicated that they were going to give a 5% increase. And with that, we were able to offer you $19,000 to $20,000 in savings. We've worked hard with Chris to make sure that the coverages are very comparable. And overall, they are better. So that's it from a pricing standpoint. I don't know if you want to ask any questions about the pricing. All right. Well, if you think of something, please feel free to ask. The thing I did want to mention too is the League of Wisconsin. The reason that we can offer this good pricing is because we are a non-for-profit organization. So, you know, we do obviously have to have enough money to pay claims, but from a profitability standpoint, we don't have to report to a board or anything like that. And then, you know, from another standpoint, we talked about this a little bit, is going forward. You know, many times we meet with boards and we'll give you some decent savings like this. And then, okay, well, what's going to happen next year and the year after that? I can tell you in the years that I've been working with the league, which is over 15 years, we haven't had any increases above 3% is really what we've been seeing. So you don't really have to worry about that either. I think that's about it for my part of it. I think Matt's going to talk a little bit maybe more about the league, so you're familiar with that. The League of Wisconsin, who you're members with, we're the League of Wisconsin Insurance Program. And then he'll talk about some of the services that we'll offer you too that are no additional cost.
Yep. Great, thanks, Paul.
Yep.
So yeah, I just wanted to give you kind of a high-level overview of our company, what we're about, how we think, how we operate. You know, from a high level, like you make decisions as a board. You know, our company, as Paul mentioned, we were set up by our members. Ownership is of our members. So I don't own the company. There's no stockholders, anything like that. So there goes kind of the profit incentive, right? We exist solely to provide a good program for you. So our board is made up of basically your peers. We have village presidents, clerks, administrators, right? So all decisions are kind of made, you know, for the members' benefit. The board is very much of the mindset that we like to keep premiums stable and low. I subscribe to that theory as well, while at the same time providing the best coverage you can get in the marketplace. So we talked about liability coverage. Specifically for you guys, know that we do provide public officials liability coverage for you guys in the acts and decisions you make in meetings like this. So know that if something were to happen, you were to be sued, whether it's a land use case or something like that, we will cover the case, provide defense coverage. I'm not sure what the limit quoted is, but you know, the defense cost coverage that we provide is in addition to your limit of insurance. So then you would have the full limit of insurance to pay any claims. You have a big case, you know, it doesn't get reduced by the amount we pay for defense cost coverage. $5 million. So, you know, our program is designed just for Wisconsin municipalities. We only operate in Wisconsin and only insure cities and villages in Wisconsin. So we know your business, we know what you do. Our company goes back over 41 years, so we're not new to the game. I've been doing public entity insurance for almost 20 years now. And this is what we do. We like it because we get to work with you guys and staff. And we really admire the work that you guys do for the communities. So a little bit about kind of the extras on the program, I'll call it. You know, there's a lot that comes with our program that isn't just coverage, right? We have lots of different training programs, whether it's in person on things like HR, employment practices, workers' compensation, safety, some public official stuff if you guys ever want to talk through that. We do a lot around public safety, police, and fire as well. We have a public safety specialist on staff who can speak to these people like I can't, right? I have no credibility, but he does. He's a retired chief. So that's how much we're in depth with our clients and what they're doing. We have a whole online learning system. Your public safety policies and procedures that likely the fire department uses, we reimburse up to $2,500 a year. That's one nice perk. We do an annual safety grant. So you guys, based on your workers' compensation premium, would get about $600 every year to purchase safety-related equipment. You know, a lot of people use it for public works, public safety stuff, manhole cover lifts, right? Valve exercisers, you know, things like that, ballistic vests for law enforcement. But that's free money because we believe that supports safety. That's good for you guys and good for the company. And what's good for the company is turns right around is good for all the members, right? We truly view it as a group. We also offer a free legal service, so you can call a law firm with any sort of legal question. A lot of people use it for employment-related issues. You need a handbook review. How do we best handle, say, a progressive discipline or termination issue? Make sure you're walking through the right steps there. You get a lot of questions about FMLA, wage and hour, whatever it may be. Just know that you can use it for any sort of municipal issue or topic, and it's of no cost. You're in great hands with John. We work a lot with his firm, so they're very familiar with the work we do. You know, and that kind of gives you a flavor of just what we're about, right? We're about members. We don't sit here to make money off you guys. We offer help. That's what we're here for. So.
Something
Sure.
you just mentioned, just because we had a little bit more discussion, I think, in our meeting about it
Yeah.
a few weeks back, is we just talking about like the labor side of stuff. So if we have issues where it's maybe a contract, if we have a new fire chief, DPW director, those things that we've had in the last 2 years, we've brought on, or we've consulted with a labor attorney that's from a different firm. We could do that through the services they're offering for free. We wouldn't have to be paying additional to that firm when we do that. So when it comes to reviewing the contract or the things that we would have those questions about, we could call them and it's free. It's part of the package. So on the rare occasion or occasional occasion that stuff gets done, there's no additional cost like we would have yesterday or today.
I have a question, and that is, I was involved in the public sector large corporations and large contracts. And the question I have is, from our clerk's standpoint, where does the customer service come from? Does it come from you, Matt, or does it come from R&R Insurance? Where does it come from?
That's a great question. Yes and yes. So Paula and R&R Insurance, you know, they are our exclusive rep in the southeastern part of Wisconsin.
Okay.
They have a whole municipal practice there. I think you got over 100 municipalities there, right? They know what's going on in this space. We won't work with just any insurance agent. They have to be in it, right? So Paul has a team, you know, whether you want a workers' comp specialist, a cyber insurance specialist. You know, on our side, we have a director of training that works for us. I mentioned the public safety specialist. I mean, there's a whole team. Our claim adjusters, we have work comp loss control people that can do job site evaluations, you know, safety manuals, claim reviews, anything. So
Does Chris call you, Paul, or who does she call, for instance, when she's got a question about things that have to do with insurance?
Yeah, so it depends on the question. She'll have my cell phone number, so she can call whenever she wants, hopefully.
That could be a bad idea.
Yeah, well, I know I do. I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. So, no, so she has that. But we have a team. We have a team at R&R Insurance.
Okay.
So for the day-to-day things, I mean, R&R, we have over 200 employees now. We have a separate team set up just for municipalities, and I don't know, we have a dozen people on there, and then behind the scenes, we have more backups to the backups. So it's very organized, but for day-to-day, you know, if you're going to add a vehicle, if you're going to need a certificate of insurance or whatever the case is, day-to-day, you got Jake McQuestion, one of my favorite names in the agency, Jake from R&R McQuestion. And then behind him, you got Ashley, you got Carly, you got all the other folks that are backing him up. So for the day-to-day things.
My question comes from the circumstance that have been involved in certain situations where changes have been made because of price, and when it comes right down to it, the customer service was so far inferior. I'm concerned with Chris because she has a great working relationship with Horton Group, and I really don't want to see any difference in that customer service experience for her.
Yeah. It's a great question. I mean, that should be a question that you ask of us, right?
Yep.
And I would say there's a list provided of all the municipalities we insure. That says something itself, but I would say call any of your surrounding communities that we insure, and for reference, I won't name them for you, and so you can choose whoever you want. But
No, it's a long list.
It's a long
I think
list,
I
yeah.
counted 237 or something like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are up to 525, 530 municipalities in the state of Wisconsin. And then that's just villages and cities.
Okay.
But yeah, be happy to have you call any one of them without us even setting it up. Feel free to call them. We have a very good relationship.
Well, I'm not the guy that has to do the work. Chris is doing that, and I want to make sure she's well served.
So you do all types of insurance then, like commercial and stuff too, not just the municipal stuff?
Me personally, my specialty, 80% of what I do is public entities. I do school districts as well. Very similar. You have the same caps, immunities, laws that follow because you're both public entities. But that's primarily what I do.
Okay.
I guess with your vehicle accident insurance, is it actual replacement value or?
That's a good question. We try and make it very easy and intentionally smart cost-wise. So how it works is every vehicle you have, regardless of value, will have replacement cost coverage for at least 5 years. Every vehicle you have that's valued over $100,000, so think of your trucks and ambulances, things like that, will have replacement cost coverage for 10 years. It's set up that way because after those points, the value of the vehicle versus the likelihood of a total loss isn't worth the premium you're paying for replacement costs, if that makes sense. So when it flips to actual cash value, the premium comes down significantly. We have an option where you can select like an agreed value on vehicles if you want to maintain a certain level of coverage after that. Whether that's worth it premium-wise, I would probably debate, but it's however people choose to want to cover their assets. Some are on a replacement schedule more aggressive than others, right? You know, things like that. Yep.
And to that point, or to your question too, we met with Horton Group by like a Zoom call a few weeks prior to our meeting with these folks, and even discussing with them, not every one of our vehicles is on a full replacement plan. Some of them are, I forget what the terms were.
Actual cash value.
Actual cash value, and then what agreed upon value is another one that we talked about too. So
stated.
depending on which vehicle it is, the age of it and condition and stuff like that, we already currently don't have a full replacement on every vehicle.
Oh, I thought we
So,
did.
what we asked for when we met, and you guys were in person, I apologize again for not being able to make it that day, but I ended up on the phone with them the entire time. But we asked that their proposal that comes to us is essentially the same. So just to confirm, that was going to be my next part, I guess, was deduction wise or deductible wise and things like that. We talked about that. So are those all matching what we currently have? So we can say this is an apple to apple comparison, correct?
Yep. Right now, the liability is quoted at 0 deductible, which won't tell you that's right or wrong, but that's matching. And autos are at 1,000 matching.
Okay. So just when it comes to that, because there's so many variables to insurance, that's what we asked for ahead of time for this. So you would have a true cost difference from that perspective then on here. So if you were to other than Roger's concern as far as the customer service side, numbers wise, they match. Which brings us to, as we talked about the other night at the budget meeting, somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 in savings annually.
Yeah, and that's compared to what's expiring. We still don't really know. I mean, we used a 5% factor for what they would increase it, just kind of like an inflation factor, and then probably getting closer to $20,000.
Is that the actual document, or?
No, that is what I was provided with for budget purposes. I do not
Okay.
have any current numbers. I did ask, and she said they won't be out until December.
Okay, so in the back of the packet, of this section of the packet, there is a document from Horton that shows you their estimates for next year, which looks like it's 85,000 roughly, and that's what they've noted on here on their premium comparison. And that's what's going with a 5% increase, because that's what we were told to expect.
Just about 2 questions late here, but as far as terms are concerned, when we talk about replacement value, are we actual like Blue Book value, or are we talking replacement for a new vehicle?
Replacement for a new vehicle.
Okay, all right. That's
Yep.
confirm, because,
So our 1-year-old or soon-to-be 1-year-old ambulance, if that gets totaled 3 months from now, it's been depreciated in value if we were to sell it, but replacing it would be the actual value of the invoice to replace it.
so if the current list on it is 386,000, that's what we're gonna replace it with.
That's the deal we sign up for, yep.
Alrighty.
Yep.
We might not get it for 4 or 5 years based on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
on the,
Are we gonna be able
on
to
the
afford
builds
it?
that we've got going on right now.
Insurance might be the least of
But
the
someday in the
concerns.
future, we will have that ambulance back.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, okay, what about older equipment we've got? When that,
Well, that's what I was saying before, is some of the stuff is actual cash and some of the stuff is agreed values, and
that's what we've had in the past.
that's what we currently have,
Right.
yeah.
Because I mean,
What are
it's-
we having with this proposal?
This proposal matches exactly what we already have.
Okay.
That's why I was saying before is to make sure that the dollars are a true comparison, it's apples to apples as far as
Right.
each of those lines.
I'm just asking because we went through that with the snow plow and it built up, you know, and that's kind of what we did then was the negotiation.
Yeah, so we'd have to pull all that back up and see exactly which, if you had a question on a specific vehicle or whatnot.
Yeah.
But for what we have today, and that's what we were looking at talking about, it's matching.
So that's for the up to 5 years, that's where we have actual replacement value, and then after 5 years, 5 to 10 years, then it's an agreed upon value, is that what I'm understanding?
So every vehicle, at least 5 years replacement costs,
Okay.
except for vehicles valued over 100,000, you get 10 years of replacement cost coverage.
Okay.
That's from brand new.
Yep.
Right, so the stuff that's 20 years old right now, when we switch to you, if we switch to you, we're not gonna start that over for 10 years from now.
Right, it's
Right, where the vehicle's
from
all
model
30 years
year,
old,
yes,
right?
yes.
that's about 3 pieces of equipment
Yeah.
that are new enough to
Well,
have the
We
hundreds.
got a new one this year, and then last year there was a Gator, and
Yeah.
next year's ambulance. So
So I
yeah,
mean, if
it's-
you, God forbid, if the engine crashes and they total it, I mean, we paid probably 300 to 400,000 for it originally. To replace it new is probably in the $700,000 to $800,000 range.
If you get a good deal.
Yeah.
That's a- yeah, if you get a
I think
good
we were
deal.
Glad you
talking
know
that.
that.
Yeah,
That's one-
oh, yeah.
As
We
much
got-
as $1 million for that to replace it now.
We have plenty of fire
I
trucks.
mean, a ladder truck, you
1.8,
could be
2
looking
million
at 2
bucks.
million.
Yep.
It's,
Well,
Luckily, they don't go total loss very often.
the beauty about being part of the organization that you are is the fact that you're able to spread that, of course, over a wide range, and so it makes it work. The reason that I have nothing against the Horton Group, but the reason that you folks are in the position you are is because of your size of the organization. You've got, what did you say, 225, Paul?
We have over 500.
Oh, over 500.
municipalities.
That's a big
Five-
base
yeah.
to work with, and that's why you're able to offer the services that you are, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a lot, but we're a small insurance company, right? I think behind Glatfelter is like AIG. So, you know, we buy reinsurance too to financially protect the program as well and pay for that. So we lose a fire truck, we're not all of a sudden down 2 million and the financials go down the toilet or anything like that, you know. While we're member owned, you know, we're fully licensed and regulated as an insurance company in Wisconsin. So all the reporting and financial work and regulatory compliance is done by us. Audits, actuarial studies, all done.
And out of fairness to Horton, when we met and talked with them a bit, some of the programs that they've discussed tonight are things that Horton does have some similar programs too, that we've probably just never really understood that they have and have utilized, so.
But at additional expense too.
Well, not necessarily, some of the, I'd have to go back and probably go through the whole meeting with them again on some of that, but I guess the point was, they provided stuff like the legal resources and things like that. There are stuff like that, is stuff like that that the Horton Group does offer us as well. We've just either never known about it or never used it. So out of fairness to Horton, I wanted to say that.
Yep, they've served us well.
All right, any other questions, gentlemen, for the board? Or-
Yeah, I got one. And this could be, I'm not an insurance guy, but how do you come up with the agreement value of these trucks that are older? How do you get that price, or how did you get that price?
That's a good question. So a lot of times, you know, it's based on what you paid for it. If you happen to have it appraised at some point in time, I think you can get it appraised for a small value if that's like $150, right? If you want to actually know and be accurate. But agreed value, you're basically signing up for that value, and we're signing up for that value. So we're going to say, okay, is that appropriate or not, right? We don't really scrutinize too much. We trust you. So it's a hard number to come up with. And you'd probably want to think about doing that if you're not looking to replace your expensive vehicles within, you know, a short amount of time, right? And you're worried that, you know, should a vehicle go down on actual cash value, the cost to replace it would be significant. Now, you're not going to get, you know, an older vehicle that you purchased for $200,000, us to agree value at $2 million, right? You know, it's got to be reasonable about what the value of that vehicle actually is. Yeah. It gets a little tricky. But
yeah, go ahead. I just want to, one of the services that we really didn't talk too much about, and because like we still have the fire chief here. I don't know if you've heard of Ready Rebound, but large municipalities have that available to them. Matt started that program, I don't know, 5 years ago or so, and he pays for the cost of having this program called Ready Rebound. And what that is, you know, it was originally set up for police and fire because all employees are hard to find. Good employees are hard to find. But because of the difficulty and the cost associated, if you do have someone that's out of work because of an injury, we have the program called Ready Rebound. You can probably explain it better, but basically it's I call it a concierge service. So if one of your employees who are in the fire department gets hurt, we will have that company, Ready Rebound, will have surgeons, will have providers available. You'll get to the top of the list to get them in there quickly, and then you're going to be working with surgeons, providers, physical therapists that are credentialed, that are good credentialed providers that are going to get them back as soon as possible. That saves you money. That saves you money with overtime. Saves you money with maybe trying to replace somebody. So it's the program that we've set up. And then we took it further and we said, okay, this shouldn't just be for police and fire. We're going to offer it as employee benefit to all your employees and all your employees' families. So it's a pretty significant program. Again, Ready Rebound is a large organization, and we're going to pay that cost for you. I don't know if you want to add anything to that. Did I do okay?
Did that make sense?
Yeah, we talked about that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, reminding about that too. Yeah, 'cause we talked quite a bit about that in our meeting, but
it's probably my favorite thing. Think about how an athlete gets treated when they're hurt. You know, Jordan Love takes out his knee. He doesn't try to get into
his fan. Why? That's why he's using that example.
He doesn't try to get into his primary doctor, right? And take some Advil, maybe an MRI 3 weeks later, you know, and then like, oh, what are we going to do? They need to know what's going on right now, what we're going to do about it. So you got a firefighter that goes down, same concept, right? We want to know what's going on and what are we going to do about it. The sooner you get people in, the better medical outcomes you're going to have. There's less degeneration as people sit around. There's less chance of repeat surgery. We found about 6 weeks are saved, you know, by people using this service. You know, that's overtime costs, as Paul mentioned. That's the lost time portion of a work comp claim reduce, and your claims experience impacts your workers' compensation premium. So it's dollars out of your pocket. So it's a great resource. Paul said it's for family members as well. So you guys have a son, daughter, employee, son, daughter plays soccer over the weekend, blows out their knee, they can do the same thing. Go see the Bucks knee doctor, you know, in 2 days. This is what we're kind of talking about here. Great care right away. So free of cost.
Did I catch something here that might be a deal breaker? Did you say a Bears fan?
Yeah, I heard
Hey, I'm leading the way on this. I'm the lead agent, so don't worry about that. I'm a Packers fan.
Just want to make sure that's covered.
I accept all criticism. I've had a lifetime to accept.
Well, you're in the wrong neighborhood for that, you know.
What is it? We're owned by you or something? Like,
yeah. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Matt, you'll be okay. We're buying the quality of the product, not your own personal.
There you go. Anyway. No, but want to answer any questions you guys have, you know, regarding the insurance program.
I heard it all, so I'm letting you guys go.
Yeah.
We talked for a long time on the phone, a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be that day, so I appreciate it. But
Do we have to make a decision there tonight, or what's the deal?
don't have to, no?
Can we?
We could. I just, more so that they're not staring at us and we're like, just kinda awkwardly sitting here, I guess. If you don't have anything
It's
further for the
okay.
two of them, then at least let them sit down and unless something else comes up. I mean, man, if you wanna stay standing, I offered to chair before, but.
Yeah, I know, right, yeah, feels good, yeah.
Okay, so,
Not awkward, we don't care.
Yeah. No other questions?
I just got, when is their insurance expire?
February 1st.
February 1st.
Yeah. We did talk in our meeting about the health insurance side, which I brought up at our budget workshop, but, so that'll be something to start discussing probably later in spring, to be looking at based on when we have to lock in that stuff. Right?
Yeah, I think they already, Chris and one of our benefits folks started talking already, so we've
Yeah.
done that introduction for you.
That'll be further discussions. Regardless of this decision, I would say we still reevaluate that either way. As I said the other night, probably late spring, early summer, so that we're not beyond our cutoff on that one again.
That's the big ticket insurance item, right?
None of it's cheap anymore.
No.
One more quick one.
Sure.
Do we want legal to go through this before we make a decision? Or do we have to? I mean, everybody said it was nut for nut or square one is square one, but I'm trusting whoever made that decision that it is one for one.
Well, isn't that kind of what we're doing here?
Yeah, I guess we'd have to sit down with proposed policy or whatever your document is, besides what's in here, that actually shows all of that,
Yeah,
right?
that's a brutal exercise, but we
Yeah.
can help too. Yeah, yeah, hey, no.
I nominate Chris.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thanks for taking that on.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's typical.
Yeah. No,
I have never done that.
This
And
is
really what you gotta do is compare what you had with Horton
Right.
compared to this, and that's something they
Yeah.
can do.
Okay.
They can take the other policy and highlight and tell you where it's found.
Yep.
You know, you wanna start with what you have now, and then they can cross-reference.
Which actually Horton, when we met with their rep, said they actually do the same. They, even if it means they lose the business, they did say that they help with that stuff when these situations are coming up. So,
if you give each one of them the other contract, they go through it and come back with a,
however, I
see
don't know
if
if we
it
have to
comes
go to
out
that
the same.
extent, but get one of them to
yeah,
to
give
do
them the
it.
parameters, just don't give them their pricing. That's not a fair thing to do by any means. But I don't think that we're going to find a better deal because of the way they're set up, the way R&R is set up, the way the league is set up. But I would hesitate to make a decision tonight, only from the standpoint, this is the first time we have seen you gentlemen, and I just think that we could have make this a part of another meeting. Just if our coverage doesn't end until February, I would say that maybe we just need just a little more time and make sure everybody's comfortable with it, rather than right tonight. Chad, you might be, you know, and Chris, you know, you guys have been looking at this in depth, but we haven't had the benefit of that.
Yeah.
Looking at that, and I don't want to. It's like buying something on a cold call. I mean, geez. It's just
But
never a
Chris
good
needs to
thing.
know what number to plug in the book.
Yep, which we've already discussed. And
I mean, that's the only reason.
Oh, I see.
That's the only
Yeah.
reason for making a decision is you gotta tell her to put the Hort number or put this number in.
which
and
we already did.
You already told her.
We already told her which number on Tuesday night.
put
when
the
we met,
higher
so,
number in and leave it.
And then we have to redo it on another workshop. So,
Oh, is that
which
what's?
that's what we talked about. That's where we
Yeah.
move some numbers around. So, if in the meantime something changes, then we have to probably look at a budget amendment after the fact.
Well, I didn't realize that that was the.
Well, but that doesn't even mean that it needs to
And that's
rush
fine,
either.
that puts a different turn
Well,
on it.
you do have a
Yeah.
budget hearing, and you can change numbers
Right.
at the budget hearing.
That's true.
You don't have to amend it until, you can make changes until you adopt it, and then you make the amendments.
That's true.
All that's listed on the budget hearings is the general,
Yep.
very general categories anyway, so.
Yeah, the dollar amount's not changing, it's just changing numbers on the lines like we did the other night,
Right, so.
so.
Well, Chad and Chris, you guys have been running with this the most, obviously, and have the most, input on this, and I'm, letting you guys, help me make a decision here, and it gives, you guys been talking, and you guys been talking to Horton Brothers and the League of Wisconsin Insurance, and you know where you're at, so, and I think that the dollar amount that you guys got or could save us is huge. And I think that's a beneficial, obviously, to the village of our taxpayers' money here, so, if you guys feel that we're good to go, I'm good to move forward with you.
Well, let me propose two things, I guess, just to your comments. I mean, me personally, yeah, I'd be fine with voting tonight, just because we've had enough discussion and things on things. But to the concerns and comments made tonight, two things I guess I propose, until they escape my mind here is, one, we need to get Horton's official numbers, right? So that's apples to apples as far as the actual price for next year, not just a comparison of coverages, right? And then second to that would be some time to review the next week or two, if it's possible, if it's you guys meeting with Chris or however we do it, to have that comparison with highlights on here's where these numbers match and all that between the two policies, existing with proposed, so that we can show and we're confident that, because we don't have that right now, right? We haven't done that. So those would be the two things, I guess, that would.
That's my concern, Chad, is
So-
I think we owe it to Horton at least to get
Sure.
solid
And I
numbers at
agree.
this point, after all the times we've been with them, so I
Right,
think
this
that's
is,
only
this
fair.
is just the, as they kind of said before, the high level
Yeah.
proposal of it, so we haven't seen those actual comparisons, so, if you want those things to be done,
I think we should.
we're good there.
To
and-
Bob's point, out of respect for Horton, I mean, they've been a good supplier to us. But the thing I want to emphasize here that I've seen time and time again, based on my experience, is the fact that they're not offering us a better program because they're cutting the price. They
Well, that's what I
have.
think we
and
need to find out.
but they have a different system that they're using, including 526 municipalities. They have a bigger pot
No,
to use, But I still agree that I think we should go the next step and actually get Horton's number out of respect for them, and I think they would want to be treated the same way.
Well,
I
Horton
agree,
is
this just
national,
is
right?
Horton's a large agent. They're,
Right, because when we were talking about that, the representative we talked to is not even from Wisconsin, so to your statement, Roger, I don't think that
Really?
they have a larger pot.
Well,
It's-
then I
it's-
stand corrected.
Well-
I think what you said before, that you're not looking for profit because you're not that company that needs profit in every single one of these. You're basically covering your expenses and because you're member owned.
yep.
So
And
that's cost savings.
And Horton is like R&R, they're the agency, they're not the actual insurance company.
That's Gladfelter is.
Gladfelter, and that's basically run by AIG, I think it is, on the back end, which is, global.
Yeah.
Right, Horton's, they've been acquired once or
Yeah.
twice, I mean,
By
that's
Brown and Redding.
So we're probably paying for some skyscraper in Dubai or something.
Well, there's this point too,
I'm just making that up, I don't know.
Gentlemen, there's this point. R&R is local. They are in our, but I still think we should go through.
I'm
the
just
due
doing due diligence
Not
here. I
disagreeing.
agree with these guys. I like the program.
I do too.
I like the savings. I think it's great.
Chris,
I
when
just
did you
think out
say
of
you were gonna get the
respect for-
number from Horton?
Not till end of November, first part of December.
Really?
Yeah, that's what she sent me in an email.
Really?
That still gives us 2 months.
Yep.
After that, I guess, to my prior statement, we'd have the budget locked in, so if we need to change things around, we would. But that'd be after the fact, which isn't a big deal.
Chris, why is it gonna take so long for them to get back to you on that?
Because their insurance company says that they do not have numbers until at least 60 days before the end of the policy.
They won't have the numbers.
Policy.
Okay.
So,
Standard practice,
Do we need a motion?
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, we probably should if we wanna.
I'll make a motion that we table this matter until we get the exact numbers from Horton.
I don't know if you need to make a motion, cause all it's listed is a presentation. There was no discussion and
I thought there was discussion
Yeah.
and possible action.
Yeah,
just says
missed that.
presentation.
Okay,
Okay, then don't worry
so I
about it.
guess, let's
Thank
just,
you, though.
let's
I
ask
tried.
that you guys can
Yeah.
help with that product comparison.
Absolutely, and you guys should, because the most important thing is that you guys are comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys get to make the decision, so, and we'll help, that's fine. We got time.
Thanks for that, I appreciate it, make the
We
decision.
will.
Yeah, like you said, you know, we have a lot of long-standing relationships and partnerships with a lot of communities. And to your point, like, nothing's wrong, but we just want to be respectful of everyone at the table, and that's totally cool. That's
So
totally
as
cool.
long as we can get those couple things lined up, then we'll get it on the next agenda after that.
Let's not
Have a
change the
discussion.
budget at all.
No, I don't.
No, we're not touching that at this point, we need to.
I think for the most part, though, we've done the coverage comparison,
I think we've
we've
a
done
lot
the
of them.
pricing comparison, we've done the services comparison, so I think there's everything that we need there from our side, but if something comes up, yeah, we'll do some more
What,
comparisons.
have you done the sit down of like, here's where this one is to
Yeah.
show they match? You did
Yeah.
that?
Oh,
Not quite that detailed.
We do that when we're quoting, because we want to give
Okay.
you the apples to
Yeah,
apples.
you've done it already, I
Done
guess,
it on
just.
your end.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
seen like your
Right.
policy and your coverage summary and say your deductible is this, your limit's this, and we
Right,
quote
so-
accordingly.
Showing Chris where that is should be fairly easy.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, coverage is, that's the big animal, right? If you want to get really deep into the weeds, you can almost, you know, bore yourself to death. So I would say, you know, we can have a conversation about that, but, you know, we're willing to help there and answer questions. I guess is probably the best way to go about it, I would suggest.
Okay?
Yep.
All right? Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Yeah, thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
your time.
Have a good
Thanks,
night.
guys.
We'll be in touch.
For sure. All right, getting closer to wrapping things up. Up next is accounts payable. Total listed is $131,120.91.
I have a question, quick.
Uh-oh, sure.
I'm sorry, but what's the Derrick and Annette Hill for $1,950 off the top of somebody's head? Do we know what that's?
50?
Yeah,
That is a ditch deposit return.
okay. That's, just thought it was a lot of money and it's individual, I didn't know. what the-
Yeah, we
that's
just
fine.
did that actually in a recent one too, where we had to give money back on
Yep.
one of the projects.
Yeah, okay.
see you guys.
I'll make a motion that we pay the bills in the amount of $131,120.91.
I'll second that.
All right, any other questions?
Yeah, I got one. The one at the work bins, that's the snow plow for the winter, that's just, cause that was a big dollar
Yep.
amount on there. Just wanted, thank you.
All right, hearing no other conversation or discussion, all those in favor of approving payment of the bills in the amount stated, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? That carries. Adjournment,
I'll move to adjourn.
that's been accepted
I'll second that.
and accepted and seconded. Would anybody like to talk?
Object.
Here to object to your own motion?
Any discussion?
I'm not gonna call the question.
None.
No, all right. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 All right, very well. Have a good night, guys.